Now we've completed typing the caption step one for this video, and one thing I want to point out is that when you're done with step one, or even along the way, you can click the Save Draft button to make sure that your work is saved. So in a moment when we make some changes, I'll show you what it looks like when we click that. I've already clicked it, so the current draft is currently saved. Now, the next step is sync timing, and this step begins when we click this button that says yes, start syncing. So when we click this button, you'll see that now we have a timeline that appears below the video. We can actually show or hide this timeline at any time from this little wrench icon, and it's useful for me to do as Amara does and leave the timeline out when I'm doing the first step, so I'm not sort of distracted by it. In the second step, when we're sync timing, it allows us to see how long the captions are on the screen. Now, the way that I create captions is I don't worry too much about getting the syncing correct in this step two. It's just about laying the captions along the timeline is how I think about it. So the way that we do this is we've got some new keyboard controls that you'll see that have appeared here for the syncing step, and that is the down arrow and the up arrow. So the down arrow on the keyboard will start the subtitle on the timeline, and the up arrow will end that subtitle on the timeline. So let's have a look at how this works. So we'll again have the tab key to play or pause the video, the shift and tab key to skip back in the video. So we start by pressing the tab key to start the video, and when we're ready for the caption that is to the right of the red line to appear on the timeline, we use the down arrow to make the caption begin on that point in the timeline. So let's see how it looks. So I'll press the tab key. Here I press the down arrow key to make the text appear on the screen. And then the second one, I press the down key, and then here I press the down arrow again to make that caption appear. And now I'm going to press up to end. Oops, that's all right. So I'm just going to point out that as I was doing that, I wasn't paying attention to the fact that this other text here, Santa Cruz, California, actually appears with this text here. So I could at this point stop, drag this caption over and extend it, and I could have just left it and we could wait till the review step. So it's up to you. Actually, when I tend to create captions, I usually don't fuss with the syncing during this step. If I make a mistake, I just kind of continue and I fix it up in review. But you can pause the video at any time, the way that I just did with the tab key. You can use shift tab or just drag the timeline along to move things back, and then you can continue. So I'm going to press the tab key now to continue. Now you'll notice that this caption got shortened. I'm just going to drag it out a bit, bring it up to here, and we'll adjust all of this later in the review step. So we'll just continue on. I'm going to press tab to continue.
Just now, there's something that feels very clear as you're speaking. It would be hard.
So I pressed the down arrow again there to continue this caption.
Words to it, because it's something.
It's beyond the words, no?
Yes. But just to, can I follow through a little more?
Please, I will not let you get away.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Really, because I'm ready to run. I was expecting to feel different.
Yes.
I was expecting to feel a universal feeling.
Yes.
One
yes.
with everything.
Yes, yes.
I'm not feeling that's that's not there.
Yes.
It's different.
Yes. That was the anticipation.
So I'm going to pause here, and I'm just going to point out a couple of things. You'll probably notice as I'm doing this that it's not perfect at all. The syncing is pretty awful at this point, but I don't worry too much about that. The reason I don't is because you'll notice every time I pause, it stops the caption that I was just working on. And so then I've got to fuss with how long it is. If I get too wrapped up in getting things just right in this step, then for me it feels distracting and disjointed. It may not feel that way to you. And as I said at the start of this tutorial grouping, you should do what feels comfortable and easy for you. Make it your own. So I'm just demonstrating one way to do things. I might point out some other possible ways that you could do it, but please feel free to make this your own. Another thing I'll point out is if you look to the right of the screen, you can see the next caption that's waiting to be put on the timeline. So it's useful because you can see the next thing you're listening for, to click the down arrow key to make this caption be placed on the timeline. So you can also look below the video and you can see what's coming next. For me, it's easier to look to the right of the screen and kind of keep my eyes towards the top of the screen. But again, you should do what feels right to you. So now I'm just going to continue, and when I'm ready for this next caption, which is a feeling like what you imagine may come, is the next one that's going to happen. Then I will press the down arrow when that one's ready to come up. You'll notice actually that this caption is missing. Let's see where it went. Up there. So that's actually the next one.
It will feel how it feels.
That one got stuck, so I'm going to tell you what happened there. I just hit the down arrow and it didn't make this caption stick. It was still moving past it. Let's see if it'll do it again.
It will feel how it feels.
Now, because I paused it and moved it around, I think that caused it to stick. So just pointing out that there are some things that are a little bit fussy about the sync timing step in the way that Amara behaves, especially when you pause the video. So because of that, I tend to do this step 2 without pausing normally. Now I'm pausing here so that I can explain things as we do this tutorial. But typically, I would just let the video play all the way through. I would use the down and up arrows to the best that I can while I'm doing this step, and I would just let it play, do the best that I can, and come back at the end and adjust things. So let's continue. I'll press the tab key to continue.
Feeling like what you imagine may come.
It just did it again. It's stuck, so I'm just going to move it and continue.
But that is...
And it keeps doing it. So let's see if I can make it stop that.
a requirement. It is not a condition. That must happen to say, aha, then that means now you see, this is prior to everything. No quality can convey it. No sensation, no feeling. When it is recognized in one body, an expression such as, aha, may happen. But this aha is not it. But it will take place at that threshold of recognition. It will emanate, aha. In another one is, aha. And another one, it will, is that it? And is that it? Is not it. But it is it.
I'm going to stop there, and I'll just reiterate again that all I'm doing is using the down arrow on the keyboard to make these captions. For me, it looks like stick to the timeline. So it sticks the caption to the timeline, the beginning of the caption at the point that you hit the down arrow. So that's all I'm doing. I'll continue this for the rest of the video until all the captions have been placed on the timeline, and then we'll continue on with the review step in the next video. Thank you.